Today let us discuss about the concept of news. Of course, today all are familiar with the news. In our daily routine starts with the news, like with the newspapers or the news channels or news websites. It is one of the best known commodity in today's world. So it is not a new concept actually. It was there even before the era of mass media. To justify this view, we shall look into the oldest tradition of people exchanging the local news during the weekly markets. Usually they gather at some place and they start to exchange the dialogues regarding their daily routines, their life and all. Of course, it is a way of communicating and retrieving some information, and of course this information can be considered as the form of news. Let us look into another example of two friends meeting after some time. So what could be the common dialogue between two friends over here? Of course, after exchanging some personal information, they may speak about their work and other areas of their interest. Even this could be a model of retrieving information and sharing the information. So does it mean that everything and anything can become a news? Of course not. No. Then what is news and what becomes news? Does it mean that anything and everything become news? Of course not. Then what is news and what becomes news? Let us try to understand news with some simple features. So at the beginning, let us see what is news. It is a piece of information which is meant to be shared in a public platform. This is the simplest explanation for the feature of news. Of course, a piece of information which is to be shared in a public platform. So only important and interesting events or opinions make news. We have to look at this particular feature because it specializes or it categorizes news from other piece of information. That means it is very interesting. Only important and interesting events or opinions make news. We have to observe this feature very carefully because this is what distinguishes news from other information. So in case information is very important, interesting, then only it takes the attributes of a news. Then news is in a way current history. So whatever happens today, whatever being reported today will become a part of history in future. So keeping all these features, we can attempt to define a news. So let us try to understand news with some of its definitions. So the definitions are as follows. News is an account of recent events or opinion which is important or interesting. With this feature and definition, we can distinguish news from non-news. So what is non-news? Of course, whatever is not eligible to become a news can be considered as the non-news. Along with this, there are some other elements which help us to decide what is news and what is not. So these deciding elements are widely known as news values. Let us study about these news values in further class. Until then, keep on trying to identify news with the features which is discussed today. See you soon.